Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of GM Sports Report. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And today we got a special guest, Tommy, with us as we're getting ready here to go over every NFL Divisional round game. And Tommy here is a huge Detroit Lions fan, so he thought it was only right to get him on to this episode so he can talk a little bit about his Lions today. So, Tommy and Mason, how are you doing today?
Go ahead,
Doing
Tommy.
good.
Yeah, I'm doing
Just
good
ready
too.
for Saturday night.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of Saturday, we're going to start with the first game, which is the Texans at Chiefs. We'll start with Tommy and then Mason. Who do you think is going to win the game, and how do you think it's going to happen?
All right. So me personally, I think the Chiefs are going to have their black magic, and I think they're going to win pretty easily. Honestly, I didn't think the Chargers or not the Chargers. I didn't think the Texans were going to win against the Chargers last week. I think everybody pretty much had the Chargers winning, but the Texans ended up playing good defensively. Like Derek Stingley is obviously, I think, one of the best corners in the NFL. I think he's right behind Patrick Surtain. But I think if the Texans have any chance, I think CJ Stroud needs to just feed Nico Collins, and they need to get that run game going too with Joe Mixon. But I still think Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is very dangerous, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So I think that the Chiefs got that.
All right, Mason.
Yeah, kind of to piggyback off that, like Patrick Mahomes, he's pretty much had 2 bye weeks. He sat week 18 and then just sat, obviously the first seed. It's scary because of how good they were throughout the regular season, and whether they got help or not, they still ended the season 15-2, and that's without postseason Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. So, I think Texans are still such a young team. If they have any hope of keeping it close, their defense is going to have to clutch up. They have a lot of weapons on that Chiefs offense with, DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, and then Travis Kelce is a big target for him. So, yeah, I think Texans are going to really have to play pretty much perfect football to even have a chance at this game. But I think Chiefs will win as well.
Yeah, I also, like Tommy was saying earlier, I did not think the Texans were even going to make it this far. I thought they were going to lose to the Chargers. And kind of when I was thinking about how the Texans have a way to win, it's pretty much what Tommy was saying. They need to feed Nico Collins. Last week, he was 7 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown. And they need to assert dominance in the run game with Mixon, who also had a pretty big game, 25 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. So those are kind of their two keys. But at the end of the day, you're going against Patrick Mahomes' experience. And like you said, the black magic that goes on with the Chiefs. And I expect the Chiefs to get Travis Kelce going early. I feel like they're going to make that a point. And if they just play good defense, the Chiefs, I just think it's going to be a pretty easy win for them because I don't think the Texans really pose much of a threat. But I did think the Chargers were going to run through the Texans pretty easily, and I was wrong. So I guess we'll see. All right, now we're going to slide over to the next game, which I know Tommy's excited to talk about, and that is the Commanders at Lions. So, Tommy, who do you have winning the game? And obviously, I know you're probably going to pick the Lions. So, what do you think is the biggest threat for the Commanders that makes you like a little bit worried?
Yeah, obviously, I think the Lions are going to win. I think our spread right now is at I think we're favored by 9.5 points. I still think we're going to cover. It's pretty crazy. I was like 9.5.
Crazy.
But, yeah, I think the biggest threat for us is Jaden Daniels. Historically, we are very bad against running quarterbacks. Last year against Lamar Jackson, we got destroyed by 30 points against him. Even though we made it to NFC Championship last year, we got destroyed by running quarterbacks. Josh Allen, he torched us on the ground this year. But if Jaden Daniels and the Commanders have any chance of beating us, he needs to use his legs way more than he needs to. Our pass defense, honestly, is pretty good, even though we have injured corners. But Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are probably the best safety duo in the NFL. I don't know if that's biased or not, but, it's pretty damn believable. Oh, yeah, there's – there's the Barry Sanders. I had the same one, actually.
Wow. I didn't even know you had that, Mason.
My favorite running back of all time. All time.
But I think the Commanders are a good team. I think their defense is pretty solid too. They have a Mike Sanders-Drill who is from Michigan, actually. I like him a lot. I got my Michigan gear on.
There you go.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels just needs to just run on us, and if they want any chance. So
right.
Yep.
Mason.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions too. Call it glazing or bandwagoning, whatever. I'm a fan of a 3-14 New York Giants, so I'm allowed to root for whoever I want in the playoffs, and I want the Lions to win it. Obviously I'm a big Barry Sanders fan. I guess that might not be obvious, but just huge. Always been my favorite running back. And then just this past summer, I actually met Calvin Johnson, and he was saying how excited he was for this season. But yeah, so I love the run game that the Lions have. Obviously, David Montgomery, well, that's not obvious, but he's coming back this week, which is a big break for all pretty much Lions fans. Jahmyr Gibbs is always going to be a dog. He's doing what he's doing, carried the load when he needed to. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to get you the catches and touchdowns that he needs to get. And that defense, man, I mean, it's just even without Hutch, which I couldn't imagine what it'd be like with him. He'd probably clearly be the, defensive player of the year candidate. And, just they're still clamping it down. So I think they'll be able to win. But like Tommy said, Jaden Daniels is, he's a new force in the league, kind of like a reincarnation, I guess, of a newer, younger Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, I mean, but he's still young. It's such a young team over there too. So I think Lions will win. Hopefully in a big, spread like Tommy was saying, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I also got the Lions. You kind of look at the Commanders last week, and me and Mason were kind of talking about that, about the Buccaneers game, how they're a young team with not a lot of experience. And it kind of showed in that Buccaneers game. Although they won, they were still making a lot of mistakes. Like, in my opinion, when they went for it on 4th and 2, and they could have tied it 3-3 in the beginning of the game, they went for it on 4th down a couple times, which the Lions do too, but the Lions are a lot more successful at it. So
we got like 4th down plays like dialed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I trust Ben Johnson. That's why he's one of the top head coach candidates.
Yeah. So the only thing that I can see the Commanders doing that would somewhat give them a chance is that Daniels-McLaurin connection. It needs to be on. It was on a little bit last week. It needs to be on again. And if Daniels needs to get mobile, like Tommy was saying, but I really don't see them standing much of a chance. The Lions just need to continue doing what they've done all year and dominate the run game like they've been doing. And it's going to be a blowout, in my opinion. But, Tommy, I do want to get your official score prediction before we move on.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to do, let's say, 31-21 Lions.
Okay. I think that's really realistic. I think that's probably
because we're going to give up some points, but we're obviously going to score more than 30, like we've been all season.
Do you think it'll be close at any point, like say at like halftime or anything?
Yeah, I think since we're coming off a bye, I feel like we're gonna have a slow-ish start because I just know the Lions way too well. We're gonna start out pretty slow. Commanders are gonna score first, blah blah. Everyone's gonna freak out, but I think at halftime it's gonna be like, I don't know, like 14-10 or something, and then we'll just pull away at the end.
That's fair. That's realistic. Yeah,
I think so. I'm also cheering for the Lions now that my team, Dolphins didn't even make it to the playoffs, and then I was cheering for the Bucs and they lost, so I'll cheer for the Lions now too. All right, we're gonna slide over to the next game, which is the Rams at Eagles. What's your guys' thoughts on this game?
Ooh. This one, I think this one's gonna be close. What the Rams did on Monday night, I honestly was not surprised. I think the Vikings were similar to the Vikings that lost to the Giants in the divisional round, 2 years ago? I think that was the same team. So the Rams, I have no idea if they're like legit or if they're just on a hot streak. I don't know. But Matthew Stafford, he's playing out of his mind like he always does. He's one of my favorite players of all time, obviously. He's playing good. You got Puka and Cooper Kupp, and Kyron Williams. It's a pretty good trio right there of weapons that Stafford has. And that defense is playing really well too. Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, and got a young secondary too. And I don't know, I think it's gonna be really close, but I do have the Eagles winning by 3. I think Jalen Hurts has good enough experience, and I think they're really well coached, and that defense is pretty damn good too. So I have the Eagles.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is also going to be a lot closer of a game than most people anticipate. Just like you guys are saying, Rams D line, their defense just in general has been really stepping up, and they have the experience on the offensive side of the ball with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp winning that Super Bowl. I think it was 21, 20, 22, something like that. So yeah, so I think if they were to get it done, they'd be able to. But that Eagles team is just it's like we've been calling them a juggernaut all year, and that's been how they are. They just I think if anyone's gonna win them this game, it'll probably be at the receiving core between AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Saquon's a great running back, but I just don't know if he'd be able to get those every down carries with that good Rams D line. So I think Eagles will win, but it'll also be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much agree with you there. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I've been big on the Rams for the last few weeks now. I do like them as a potential upset for this week. Their biggest thing is they need to keep spreading the wealth on offense. If you look at the stat line and the box score from this Monday Night Football game, not one singular player had like some phenomenal game that won them the game. It was very spread out between like Williams, Kupp, Nakua, and even Higbee a little bit. If you keep doing that, I think that keeps the Eagles on their toes on defense, and that gives you a little bit of a chance. You need to match the Eagles' firepower on offense, especially with the run game, because we know how good their run game is. And the D-line needs to continue to have another huge game. If they can somewhat stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts on the run game, they could have a chance to win this game. But like we've been saying, the Eagles are a very good team, especially on offense. And if they just continue to use all their weapons and shut down the Rams on defense, then I think they'll have I think they will win. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that game. All right, now we're going to slide into the game I think I'm looking forward to the most, which is the Ravens at the Bills. I think it's going to be game of the week. So what do you guys think on this one?
Yeah, this game I'm really, really excited for. I wish it was the AFC Championship, but this game was really, really tough for me to decide who is actually going to win. I think this is the battle of the MVP right now. Whoever wins this should win 100%. MVP. On the Ravens side, obviously Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think the Ravens have been the scariest team in the NFL, despite the record, not having the best record. I think they're the scariest team in the NFL. With Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, that duo is I haven't seen anything like that in forever. How did the Titans let that happen, man? I'm kind of disappointed in that. But
I don't know.
Yeah, no, even Lamar even has Mark Andrews, and hopefully Zay Flowers comes back. I think he practiced this week, so I think he's coming back with that knee sprain. But it didn't matter last week. Yeah, and their defense is playing pretty damn good too. I mean, last week against the Steelers, they dominated the entire game. I don't know how they. I don't remember how they scored 14 points. I wasn't really watching the whole game, but. Yeah, on the Bills side, I mean, obviously Josh Allen. That's all they really have, really. Him and James Cook.
I know.
That defense isn't really that great either.
Yeah, now you think about it, they really don't have too much on the Bills. It's really just
I honestly
Josh
Allen. I don't even know who they have on defense other than DeMar Hamlin.
No, I know. I know. They lost a lot of their guys last year.
Yeah, they lost a lot too. But no, I think the Ravens got it. I think Lamar can advance to the AFC Championship again, and hopefully he moves on to Super Bowl. Actually, hopefully not, because I want the Lions.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think the Ravens, if they just run the ball the whole game and use play action with Lamar. Like his mom said, run the damn ball.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's got it. I think they win by 10 though.
Okay.
I think they're gonna pull away.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Ravens as well. I think kind of with the realization that the Bills don't have those big names that the rest of like these playoff teams do, especially the Ravens. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up. I know they have like a pretty decent linebacker with like Milano, I think his name is, but other than that, you can't really think of anybody like even on the D line. That's probably one of the most important positions, like on the defense, I'd say. Just bringing that pressure, and especially if you don't have pressure for a guy like Lamar Jackson, he can sit in that pocket for whenever he wants and take off whenever he wants. So. Ravens have also been that kind of juggernaut just on the AFC side. So I think the Ravens will win. And really the only thing that will keep the Bills close is the Josh Allen. And like Tommy was saying, I think this is the battle of the MVPs. I think they'll just run the ball the whole time though. Just with a weak D line on that Bills side. That's what they did with the Steelers. They ran the ball. They had like 300 yards in the first half. Like 200 rushing. So that's ridiculous. So I think the Ravens will win.
Well, I'm honestly going to say I'm shocked that neither of you guys picked the Bills because I feel like they are like a really solid team. But obviously, as a Dolphins fan, I am not picking the Bills to win. So I am also going to pick the Ravens to win. And kind of what you guys were saying, when I look at the Bills, this is like it's been a lot of Josh Allen hero ball, right? And I just don't think that you can do that against this Ravens team and like go away with a win. Obviously, James Cook is going to show up. He's been great the last few weeks. Last week he had a huge game.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're paired up on the other side of the ball with Derrick Henry, it doesn't really matter what James Cook does, in my opinion. So someone's going to have to help Josh Allen out. I don't know if it's going to have to be like Dalton Kincaid. I don't know if it's going to have to be Khalil Shakur. But one of those guys is going to have a huge game if they want to have a chance to win. But if it's just them relying on Josh Allen to play some hero ball, I don't see a win happening for them. And you look at the Ravens, you see the Lamar and Henry duo. I mean, last week, Henry had 186 rushing yards and Lamar had 81 rushing yards. And this is all without Zay Flowers, who might be back this week, which adds a whole nother weapon to them. Mark Andrews and Likely both had a pretty decent receiving game. I think they both were around the 50-yard mark, which that's all you really need for the receivers because they run the ball so well. They just have those long possessions of running the ball, like taking off like 8 to 10 minutes of the clock and ending up scoring on those drives. They'll win this game easily. And another thing to note is, although it was early on in the season when the Bills and Ravens did play against each other, the Ravens won 35-10. So that's just something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I also think the Ravens will win.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a few questions real quick too.
Okay.
What do you guys think that championship matchups will be? And given that, what do you think the Super Bowl matchups will be? Tommy, you can go first.
Tommy, you can go ahead.
Yeah. I think the NFC Championship is going to be the Lions versus the Eagles, and then AFC side is going to be the Ravens and the Chiefs. And then the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be the Lions and the Ravens.
And how do you think that will kind of go?
Like from the NFC Championship or
I mean, like the Super Bowl. If you guys were to play the Ravens, how would you feel about that? That's
pretty anxious.
Tough team, yeah.
I think that's going to be America's Super Bowl. I think that's who the majority of people want. I think that's going to be a really, really tough game to like predict. Like I'm trying not to sound biased at all, but I really do think this is the year for us. I think last year I know. We still got that game like playing through everyone's head in the locker room. Like it's playing through my head every day. Like
right.
So tough. The championship game, the NFC championship game?
Yeah. I have to.
I don't blame you.
Oh my gosh, we're actually gonna make it. Like there's no way this is happening. And then,
oh man.
But I mean, the fact that we got that far, I was really happy. But no, the Super Bowl, I think we just got to rely on that run game. I think we can easily pick apart that defense. Our offense is probably the best in the NFL. I think we're first in points per game. Jared Goff is I trust Jared Goff with if I had a child, I would trust with my own child. I don't know, and I trust Dan Campbell. I like going for 4th down. I know he gets a lot of crap for doing that too much, but it works. We're 15-2 for a reason. That Ravens team is really good too, so I think it's gonna be a really good game. But obviously, I'm gonna have this one in it. So,
got to get there first.
Yep.
That's
I'm only focused on Saturday and next Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, I was just pretty much, everything you kind of said. I don't really have anything else to add to that, but I just kind of want to see where your head was at. I know it's I can't imagine because I haven't, seen my team like in a position like this, at least in the NFL, in a very long time. So, I couldn't even imagine what the nerves would be like getting there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought we were gonna ever be like this. So
I know.
I do think that the Super Bowl is going to be the Lions, but I think it's also going to be against the Chiefs because I think the Chiefs are going to black magic their way into the Super Bowl like they always do. But that actually makes me
I would
think
love
of
to
one
play
more
the Chiefs.
question. I was just about to say, would you rather play the Chiefs or the Ravens? I think as a Lions, if you're a Lions fan, you'd want to play the Chiefs. So
I said at the beginning, I want to play the Chiefs more than anyone.
Right.
Because I think, I mean, we beat them last year, week 1, opening night.
Exactly.
And I guess they have DeAndre Hopkins now, but I'm saying like their weapons aren't really. I'm not really afraid of them.
What's left of DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, he's all right now.
Right. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the episode. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We do have one more episode that's going to be coming out this week. We're going to be doing a UFC 311 breakdown that's going to be coming out on Saturday. So make sure you guys tune into that. Tommy, thank you for joining us. It was a good episode. We're looking forward to the games this week. And as honorary Lions fans for the rest of the year, we hope they raise a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, of course. And real quick, if the Lions do make the Super Bowl, we're going to have you back on and do a whole Super Bowl
100%.
breakdown video with you in it. Okay?
Hopefully it's not the day after.
No, we'll do it before. No. We'll do it before. All right.
No.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Thank you.